In today's video, we're looking at part 3 of 3 videos covering the topic layout design with respect to web page design, magazine design, and advertisement design. All right, here we have another example of how you can use space. Here we have the drawing of a spanner, right? And because it's in a white space, right, it pulls the reader's eyes to the image that is in the center of the white space, right? And here we also put in the name of the channel, CAD Mr. Hew, on the drawing to further bring the person's eyes to the layout to indicate that this is a channel or a resource that is called CAD Mr. Hew, and it also shows some authentication that this design of this panel that I made was done by me, right? So like whenever you buy a tool, it says made in, for example, Germany. So that is why I incorporated the name of the channel, CAD Mr. Hew, in the drawing to indicate that this is my original drawing. Also, we have part 2 of 2 to indicate to the reader or the viewer that there are 2 videos of how to draw the spanner, and this is the part 2. So this is use of space. We have the white space and the element is in the middle. It draws a person's eye to the element that is in the center of the white space. And here we have a border here to further um, narrow down the person's eyes to the center of the page. All right, to design an effective layout, you can use the following set of principles. For example, and we're looking now at the grid. So you can use a grid to organize the design elements you use in a layout to communicate in a clear way. So here we have the grid pattern. I hope you can recognize the grid, right? So here we have the different layouts of the different elements here in a pictorial form. And here we use the blue lines to indicate the grid, right? So here we have the horizontal grid lines and we have the vertical grid lines, and where they intersect to forms a grid. And here in the grid, for example, we have different elements being placed in the layout of the design. All right, so here we have another example, right? And hopefully you can recognize the grid. So we have this one is a video entitled Advanced Filter using 2 criteria. We have the formula Excel. We have how to find a drawing in AutoCAD. We have how to make a table with a drop-down list. And here we have the VLOOKUP function, right? And the if function, right? So a grid is a good way to set out your design, whether you're designing a web page, a magazine, or an advertisement, or a brochure. Now, another effective set of principles that you can use for the layout design is modules. So whereas in the other example we had a grid, with a module now, you can actually put your diagrams or pictures in more rather than being confined to one square. The module could be 1 or 2 squares, for example, and this would give your layout an interesting pattern. So rather than having the monotonous pattern here of boxes going down and it looks a little bit cluttered, you could actually use a module, right? And let me show you. We have this module spanning 2 rows. This module spanning 2 rows. Likewise, this module is in one cell, for example. So here it is. So we have 2 images here in this module. We have 2 images, or it could be 1 image. Here are two images, and here are one image in the one module, right? So this gives us some interest, right? And also you could put text in these spaces between the modules if you choose to do so. All right, so this is what the finished product would look like, right? And as I said, you could have text here on your web page or on your calendar or on your poster or in your magazine. So here this is showing an example of a grid with modules, and the modules are what I showed you not too long ago. All right, so another effective way to do your layout design is to use columns. Can you identify the columns here? So this was a layout that I made, a layout design that I made for my video entitled The Difference Between an Arithmetic Formula and a Function. And it says part 2 of 2 videos. So this will tell the viewer or the reader that there are 2 videos covering the topic, the difference between formula and function, and this is the second video of the 2 videos. So this is an example of a column. Can you identify the column? There it is. The blue lines indicate the columns, right? So remember, where I have this this image that says function, this will be one image, right? So there are 3 images here: the arithmetic formula, the function, and the formula, right? So here we're looking at another design principle for the layout design that can be used in a web page, magazine, a brochure, or a calendar. And what it is showing is that the layout can be designed in rows. So here we have the title for the pivot table in one row. Then we have the ribbon, which is the top section of the spreadsheet, in one row. Also, the logo is in the center and in the same row. Then we have the body of the main part of the Excel spreadsheet in another row on this layout design, right? So hopefully you were able to see the row before I showed you. So the layout design, right, to get the reader's attention and to display information that is appealing and visible, the layout process is very important on how the pictures and text are arranged on a website or on paper. So this brings us to the end of today's video. In today's video, we looked at the layout design that can be used in a web page design, a magazine, a calendar, or a brochure, or in an advertisement. So this brings us to the end of today's video. Bye. We have come to the end of part 3 of 3 videos covering the topic layout design for a website, magazine, brochure, advertisement, or a calendar. So in the next video, we'll be looking at the pivot table. So please join us then. Bye.
Thanks for watching the video, and don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, comment, and share.